All right, rugby fans, welcome to another deep dive.
Hmm.
This time we're diving into the state of Irish rugby.
Sounds
And
like a good one.
yeah, it is a good one. We're coming off of that, Argentina game, close win, 22-19. But that was after that New Zealand loss.
Yeah,
So, kind of a mixed bag.
yeah.
And we've got some good stuff for this one. We've got match reports, and we even have some quotes from Andy Farrell, the coach,
Oh, nice.
and Keelan Doris, the captain.
Wow.
So we've got some really good stuff to dive into here.
Maybe the
And, big question I think on everyone's mind, is this a sign of, weakness or strength
right.
heading into the rest of these autumn internationals?
Well, let's start with that Argentina game. That first half hour. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like pure attacking magic.
It was.
3 tries, beautiful ball movement. It looked like it was going to be a rout.
Yeah, I was looking at the match reports, and yeah, they were saying, it's like electric atmosphere.
Yeah.
And everyone was just thinking, is this it? Are we going to, blow 'em out of the water and do... But then, as we know, things kind of shifted.
Yeah. That's where the analysis gets really interesting. Ireland let Argentina back into the game, and it became a nail-biter right to the final whistle.
Yeah.
So now the big question is, can they maintain that intensity, that focus for a full 80 minutes?
Yeah.
Especially when they're going up against like the top tier teams, South Africa, France,
Right.
those kinds of teams.
Yeah. And I mean, Farrell was not happy with the way they let Argentina kind of back into that game.
Of course not.
And, the discipline was a big issue. Again, 13 penalties,
Yeah,
just like in the New Zealand game.
exactly. Farrell actually called it desperate, their discipline.
Wow.
I mean, and that's a direct quote.
Strong words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, both Farrell and Doris, they both talked about this issue after the game. But it does make you wonder, right? Why are these penalties happening?
Right.
Are the players just, overeager, trying too hard? Or is there something else going on? Is it
Yeah.
a lack of composure under pressure?
Yeah.
And that's the thing against a team like South Africa or France, that could be fatal.
They will exploit any little crack you give them.
So let's talk about the pack for a second.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I was reading in the analysis that you sent over was that Ireland was really struggling to get their big men going
Yeah.
against Argentina's defense.
Yeah. It seemed like they were missing that real, hard-nosed ball carrier, the guy who can just smash through the gain line,
Right.
put the other team on the back foot. And without that, they had fewer attacking options.
Right.
They had to rely more on their backs, which, traditionally hasn't been their strength.
Right. So can a team that's known for being, quick and agile, can they also win those battles up front?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the balance they need to find.
Yeah.
And to understand this better, we got to look at how Argentina countered Ireland's strengths, because their defensive line was so well organized.
That's right.
They were shutting down space, denying Ireland the opportunity to use their quick passing game.
So it sounds like it's not just about, brute strength.
Right.
It's about being smart about it.
It's like a chess match
Right.
out there on the field.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the fly half situation.
Okay.
Because we had Jack Crowley starting.
Yeah.
He looked sharp in the beginning, but then kind of faded in the second half.
That was interesting.
And then Sam Prendergast came off the bench,
Right.
and he really made an impact.
Yeah, I did.
So what's going on there?
Well, and then you have Sion Frawley, who wasn't even in the squad.
Right.
So what is Farrell thinking here?
Yeah.
Is he looking for consistency from Crowley? Is he grooming Prendergast for a bigger role?
Yeah.
What about Frawley? Is he out of favor, or is he being saved for Fiji? It's these selection dilemmas that make following a team like Ireland so fascinating.
Yeah. And you've got these world-class players, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
And it's up to Farrell to kind of figure out the puzzle.
Exactly.
Speaking of puzzles, the line-out seems to be coming together,
It does.
which historically has been a bit of a problem for Ireland. Yeah, for sure. But they've been winning their own lineouts cleanly. They're disrupting the opposition's throws. They even scored tries from the lineout.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got the young guys coming in, too. Tom Clarkson, Sam Prendergast on debut, Jamie Osborne off the bench, make it a real difference.
Yeah, Farrell was really impressed with Osborne. He called him immense.
Wow.
High praise.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to see this new generation coming through. It adds unpredictability. Keeps everyone on their toes.
Yeah, because Farrell has made it clear that he's picking on form, not on reputation.
Right.
So, all right, we've covered a lot here. We've talked about the attack, the discipline, the selection dilemmas, this young talent coming through, the team dynamics.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Well, next we've got to look at what all this means for Ireland's future. The World Cup is on the horizon.
Right.
So we need to talk about that.
Big stakes.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, these autumn internationals are so important.
Yeah.
Especially with the World Cup coming up.
Right.
They're not just warm-up games.
Yeah.
These are crucial for building a team that can actually compete.
So let's talk about that killer instinct then.
Okay.
Because, we saw flashes of it against Argentina.
Yeah.
But did they really, grab the game by the throat?
That's a big question, isn't it? And it goes back to what we were talking about before, those penalties, those moments of indiscipline against the top teams. Those mistakes, you just can't afford to make them.
Right.
You'd give a team like South Africa an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah. You think maybe the pressure's getting to them a little bit?
Maybe. I mean, the weight of expectation is huge.
Yeah. They've never reached a World Cup semifinal.
Yeah.
And the fans are desperate to break that barrier.
For sure. But I think amidst all the challenges, you also got to look at the positives.
Okay.
These young players coming through Prendergast, Osborne,
Yeah.
they bring a freshness, a fearlessness.
Right.
It's infectious. They're not burdened by, past disappointments. They just want to go out there and play.
So that puts pressure on the more experienced players.
Absolutely.
It's a good kind of pressure, though.
Yeah. Healthy competition for those starting spots.
Right.
Now, let's talk about the pack for a second.
Okay.
We know Ireland's pack isn't known for being, massive.
Right.
But they got to find a way to be more effective in contact.
So it's not just about size and brute force, then?
No, not at all. It's about being smarter, more clinical in how they use their forwards. Technique, timing, coordination, disrupting the opposition's rhythm, creating turnovers.
So almost like a well-choreographed dance rather than just a head-on collision.
Exactly. And, maybe they need to rediscover that Irish grit.
Oh, yeah.
That never say die attitude.
That fighting spirit.
Yeah, that ability to dig deep and find a way to win even when the odds are stacked against them.
And that's what we love to see as fans, right? That passion, that pride, the belief that they can beat anyone on their day.
Absolutely. The potential is there. We've seen glimpses of it. Now it's about putting it all together, delivering when it matters most.
Okay.
These next few weeks are going to be a real test.
Yeah.
Fiji, a team that can be dangerous on their day, and then the Springboks.
Oh, yeah.
Trial by fire.
Big time. And for us fans, it's going to be an edge of our seat ride.
Definitely.
So you ready to dive into the last part of our deep dive?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're back for the final part of our deep dive here.
Yeah.
And the big question on everyone's mind, I think, is what does all this mean for Ireland moving forward? Especially with the World Cup coming up.
Right, because it's one thing to dominate the Six Nations, but the World Cup is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
The pressure is immense. The competition is fierce. There's no room for error.
So based on what you've seen these last couple of weeks, are there any areas that you're particularly concerned about?
I mean, the inconsistency is a worry, for sure.
Okay.
The disciplinary issues, those penalties, like I said before, against the top teams that could be fatal. And we still haven't really seen that, dominant force emerge in the pack.
But this is a team with a proven track record, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've won 3 of the last 5 Six Nations titles. They've got a world-class coaching staff, Andy Farrell at the helm. He knows what it takes to win at this level.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
We can't forget about the positives. The blend of youth and experience is really exciting.
Yeah.
Players like Prendergast, Osborne, Clarkson.
Yeah.
They bring that fearlessness, that energy that can change the course of a game.
And Paul O'Connell's influence on the forwards can't be overstated.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially on the lineout.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
A true leader.
So it sounds like, while there are definitely some challenges ahead, there's also reason to be optimistic.
Yeah, I think so.
That this Irish team can do something special.
Definitely.
So after all this discussion, after this deep dive, what's your verdict? Is Ireland back on track? Or are these deeper issues a cause for concern?
I think that's the big question. And honestly, only time will tell. These next few weeks are going to be crucial. They need to find their rhythm, their confidence, their ruthlessness.
Yeah, it's going to be a thrilling ride for us fans.
For sure.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Irish rugby. We'll be back next time with another fascinating look at the world of rugby.